Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the lab. How's it going, Phil? How you doing? Oh, let's see here. Got important pre-stream check. We got coffee. We got not coffee. One of these things is not like the other. Hello, sorcery. Kinda tired today. Heard that. The joys of Fridays. Has it been a busy day for you today? Quit out of that just to be sure. Trying to figure out. I was gonna try possibly having some music, some light music playing in the background. We'll see if that works or not, because it's apparently very loud in my headphones and very soft on stream. Just didn't sleep well? I heard that. Hello, Tempest. Yes, this is the Medj. In all his glory? Sure. You get to realize how much of an old fart I am. Haha. Horror! Hello, Horror. How are you today? How is everybody? Fuel is tired. Sorcery is obviously owning on Overwatch. I think Horror was carrying Sorcery, or at least that's what I have been told. I'm good, thank you. In what seems to be a lovely twist of fate, maybe like 10 minutes before stream, I started getting a wee bit of a headache. So took some aspirin and was like, you know what? This is not going to stop the stream. We are not going to stop the stream because my brain is committing seppuku. I'm always carrying. That is what I hear, Horror. That is what I hear, and you know what? That's okay, as long as you're carrying me in the process. Oof, I can tell that my hair is doing something weird today. It's like that one tuft is just being a pain in the arse. But this is absolutely not Fashion Labs by any capacity. Let's see here. We were working on a Twitch bot, if I remember correctly. And let's see here. So I've got a laptop up here. I kind of want to see if the chat desyncs again, just because of the issues that I was having with it last time. But we shall see. All right. We'll go ahead and get started here in just a second. Let me get the. Hey, Doll, welcome back. I'm doing good. How are you doing today? Let's see here. Let me put the super secret screen up as I get the whiteboard set up. Let's see here. Not do that. We're going to do one of those. Not going to join with audio. Share screen. And mirror here. And then let's put this is a little bit of a window shuffle, but we'll get back to it. And then we have to change this to air host. Aha. I wish there was a more automated way of getting that whiteboard up and running, but apparently it's just wanting to be a jerk to me. But that's all right. I've been working on some of the automation scripts that I use to get the stream started. If anybody's not aware, Apple has their own kind of scripting language built in. They have had their own scripting language built in for God knows how long. It's actually called AppleScript, and it is documentation is insanely light. It is insanely hard to come by, but it is good for automating things on the Apple desktop. So If there's interest, I might go into that at some point. Only lurking, though. Got to put some time into my social interactions. Absolutely no worries. Thank you very much for stopping by. It's very much appreciated. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So just as a kind of a recap of what we are doing here, attempting to build a Twitch bot, and we are connecting to Twitch using the Twitch IRC client, the Internet Relay Chat. And in the last stream, we managed to get the basics of the bot going. We actually got connected to the Twitch IRC, got past the authorization piece of it, and did manage to join the Medj Labs chat room and see chat streaming on by, which is fantastic and unfortunately very not representative of the typical real world coding scenario. But hey, when you get those first tries, you cherish those first tries because it's such a good feeling. So today we've got a couple things, some potential cleanup of some repeat code, kind of go through the process of now that we've made it work, and in some process we've also managed to make it right. There's also this kind of idea that we want to keep our code as clean as possible, because in reality, the code that you are writing is primarily for humans, secondarily for the machine, which is an interesting statement. It's a very strange statement because technically speaking, the code doesn't do anything until the machine actually processes it, compiles it, parses it, and runs it. But if you really think about it, most of the time, the raw source code is actually being read by human beings. It's being consumed by human beings. And so it's kind of it's a good idea to keep that code as clean as humanly possible. And we'll talk about some of the ways that we try to do that. It's not a perfect science, and it's sometimes not a perfect art, but oh man, we can certainly try. Shoryuken, how you doing, mate? Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the wonderful world of Whiteboard. That is such a cool emote. Oh my goodness. Was that the Felix wave? Oh, it's so good. All right. Additionally, I had a thought for something that could potentially speed up testing a little bit, which is this idea of command testing with standard in, or STDN. And standard in, or standard input, is a way for us to basically type in the console and have what we are typing fed into that WebSocket connection. So in a way, we have code in that actually sends data to Twitch, but I was wondering if we could potentially hook our code up to the console, and perhaps we could start sending some custom messages. We'll see how that goes. I actually have these two reversed, ping pong and the respond to a command. I'm actually kind of inclined to try and respond to a command today. Ping pong is something that actually showed up in the Twitch documentation, so something to look into for today. All right, so let's get the share here turned off. If I can figure out where that window is. There it is. Stop the share. Let's go ahead and end that meeting. For anybody that doesn't know, I am using Twitch. Twitch. I am using Twitch. Surprise! I'm using Zoom as Zoom, the video conferencing software. That is what is projecting the iPad, and that is still one of my favorite Zoom features of all time. So let's see here. So we are in the Medjbot source repository, and something that I did want to do at some point today is push this code up into a public Git repository, so that if anybody wanted to take a look at this code and wanted to pull it down and play with it and do all that kind of stuff, there's a centralized place for where that is. And then we can also go through, hey, there's this thing called Git, there's this thing called version control. It's kind of a big deal, and it's a fantastic tool to have. But let's jump into the code. Let's start by popping into our main.go. All right, so we have basically a giant block of code that is currently sitting inside of the main function. And this main function is the starting point to our application. And so more or less everything that we are doing exists inside of this main part of the application. Now, important distinction, we need to source twitch.token. This is something that I did off stream. I just grabbed that OAuth token that we need to authenticate with the Twitch IRC. And then I just shoved that into a file called twitch.token. So now to get that into an environment variable, I just run source that file, and that brings it into an environment variable. And I don't have to bring up the secret window every time, so you guys can't steal my token. But go run main.go, and let's see if we are still connecting. We are failing. So we have a failed authentication notice. Okay. So welcome to when things go wrong. So let's see here. So to debug this, I would actually have to look at said OAuth token. So I completely lied. Welcome back to the secret screen as I sit here and attempt to figure out let's see here, Twitch token. Let's see what that's set to. That does appear to be incorrect. Aha. So I've seen the problem, and in a nutshell, the problem is that the Twitch token is currently set to OAuth : and then the Twitch token. Let me get that off of the screen, bring up another terminal. There we go. All right, let's bring the stream back on. All right, so what we have at the Carrara, can you tell that I am nervous? So more or less what we have in our token right now in our environment variable is OAuth : and a bunch of stuff. The problem is that inside of our code, we are assuming that we have to prepend OAuth : into that token. So I think I'm actually going to remove that prefix. The thought there being that if that prefix ever changed for whatever reason, if Twitch decided that OAuth was hot garbage and some new authentication or authorization framework makes far more sense, then we don't have to come back into this code and be like, oh, gotta change this OAuth. It's just part of the token, so we only have to change it one place. So let's try that again. Go run main.go. Connecting, destruction. Attempt to read from WebSocket connection. Okay. This is actually turning out to be a good opportunity to show some debugging, because things go wrong. Surprise, surprise. Oh wow, that is a lot of failure. Hello. Ah, so we got our pass and we got our nick. Okay. And then we immediately break because we are repeated read on a failed WebSocket connection, which causes a panic, which is fantastic. A panic in Go is effectively a, oh God, what's happening? Boom. It's basically the eject button. So our code just ejected itself. Fantastic. So let's see what's going on. What do we have? So we got our URL. This is still connecting as we expect. WebSocket default dialer. The connect seems to be going okay. The pass command seems to be okay. And then we get down to about here. This is the reader. And then we sleep for a while. Yeah, that should be just about everything. So let's see here. How can we do this? I don't think the time.sleep is required. And I don't think there is a so what I'm thinking at the moment is if there is an issue, if there's an issue with that connection, then it might be yeeting itself out before we get to this point. Perhaps it's prudent to add a. I'm not entirely sure if this is necessary. Let's see. Let's try it again. Go run main.gp. We're not entirely sure what main.gp is. Ooh, interesting. Okay. So it is still an abnormal closure. And the only thing that we've really changed at this point is the token. Okay. Let's go back up to the top here. Did I miss something? Oop. Bit too far. There we go. Was anybody getting motion sickness watching all that text go by? Because I was just a little bit. Connecting to WSS, IRC, WS chat. Pass is OAuth blah. Nick is MedgeLabs. Join MedgeLabs. Yeah, unexpected end of file. Unexpected end of file to me means that there is a there's some kind of an error when attempting to trying to get that initial connection. So let's see here. Main.go 39 and 41. So if we go to line 39, and this is 41, maybe I'm going to spitball. What was it? Time.second? Is that what it was? Time.sleep, time.second. Yeah, there we go. I don't think that's the issue. But it's also kind of in that mode of I want to try and see if maybe it's something that that we're not time.second times 2 seconds instead of 1 second, allegedly. Right, so let's try this again. Let's see what it's doing. No, okay. So it's actually failing, it seems, on the hit. On the hit part. Oh, interesting. Okay. So it looks like we're actually getting yeeted out of the connection as we're setting our nickname, of all things. Interesting. Yeah, not all software development is just hey, look, we type some things and things work. There's absolutely moments where things go wrong. Hi, Nilo. How you doing? I wish I could help. I appreciate it, Shuriken. Uh, this is one of the benefits of going through somebody else's API. Not entirely sure. All right, so to quickly get a token for your account, use that. Your nickname must be your Twitch username, which last I checked, it is still MedgeLabs. So that should be okay. And then what we're missing is this piece of the application from last time. About once every 5 minutes, the server will send you a ping to ensure that your connection stuff works when you code things. I don't know if somebody tells me that it's supposed to be that way, but not entirely sure if that actually happens. Let's see here. Known and verified bots. So that's more of okay. So let's go back into our code here, and let's go into main.go. And let's see if possibly, let's see if we borked it somewhere around here. So at this point, I'm more or less trying to figure out at what point in the code is there the potential for this to fail. So we've got a token, we've got our pass, we've got our nick, and I don't think adding a time.sleep really does anything. I'm more or less just trying to see. I'm trying to see if there is. Oh, hello. There we go. If there's possibly something that's happening in between. Oh, cannot call time.sleep, time.second. Time.second is not a function. Time.second is a variable. The only thing that changed is the env var. Can you revert it and make sure the connection still works? True, Jeremy. I'm not sure. So more or less, there is a. I can't revert it back to the old token because I'm using this OAuth password generator to generate a new OAuth token. What I could do is print out the actual pass command, which I would have to do in a secret window to do, but I might do that here in just a second. Oops, didn't mean to exit out of Vim there. But that is a good thought, and I think that's probably where we're going to end up. Oh, actually, hold on a sec. That's interesting. So let's do a go run main.go again. Is it just me, or did it look like it was failing on the OAuth piece? Nope, it's still on the nick. Okay. So failure on the MedgeLabs part. Okay. And it shouldn't be casing. I think there's actually a piece of information that we could potentially use here. Let's see. Main.go. So it's definitely not doing anything to have the time.sleep anywhere. And let's see here. And it's not sending us a nil. But not completely on the MedgeLabs part. That would show the fatal Nixon failed or whatever, wouldn't it? Correct, Fuel. So it makes me think that there is an element here of I might be doing something that is causing the Twitch server to actually yeet me out of the server, which is particularly interesting, to say the least. So it's you're correct. So we would have seen, if we failed to send the nick command, it would have yeeted me out as. Let me think. So what we could do, I think we can yoink this right over here. There might be something happening in the process of reading. And so what I'm thinking is maybe it makes sense to just do an initial read and see if maybe that does it. Let's see. Let's see if it gives me anything. Go run main.go. Imported time and not. I feel like I'm going to run into that error multiple times over the course of building this thing. Yeah, okay. So it does look like the server is actually disconnecting me. Banana Cat Russian 96, hello. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the lab. Welcome to the wonderful world of debugging Twitch IRC commands. How are you doing today? All right, chat. So it looks like we are actually getting yeeted out of ye olde window here. So let's see here. Now, if I remember correctly, there's this thing that we're ignoring at the moment, which is, let's see here, returns a message type, a byte, and an error. Now, why would Twitch yeet you? You know, I think there are many reasons why Twitch would yeet me. Most of them probably from me being a scrub. I'm fairly confident it's from me being a scrub in some capacity. Exactly, sure. You can way too many reasons for them to actually yeet me out. So now you got a question. Which one is it? Is it possible there's some sort of race condition here? It's possible. I would have, and I think that was the. Sorry, I actually didn't call that out. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to do a time.sleep here, because right now everything is very much sequential access, especially now that we've gotten rid of the go routine that's doing the read side. So everything should be happening sequentially on the right, and con.write message is, if I remember correctly, a sequential blocking function. We can double check that by popping into the definition. It definitely looks like a sequential process. Oops. So yeah, let's come back here. Doing good. Just wanted to see people like you, so I wanted to talk about coding. Made a fake virus with a fake syskey in Visual Studio. Oh, I love it. There are just so many things that you can do with code. It's kind of ridiculous. But welcome. Thank you very much. So in a nutshell, Banana Cat, we are attempting to just code a Twitch bot, a Twitch chat bot from scratch. In the last stream, we actually did manage to get everything connected, and we saw chat going by. But looks like in the process of changing the pass command that we're sending in, everything just kind of went yeeted out the window. I am curious, how did so it was a fake virus with a fake sys key in Visual Studio. Did it do anything like did it Rick roll you, or did it pop up a bunch of windows that just said that was just the ASCII cat of Bongo Cat or anything of that nature? As you can tell, everything has to come back to cats because I am a bit of a cat person. I'm a big bit of a cat person, so wouldn't Twitch allow only one login per system? That you know what? I wonder. Because I am currently broadcasting, but I also have stream up over here because I was worried that I was going to miss chat in this window. Let's see. Okay, so I'm shutting down stream on this side. I've got the trusty MacBook Pro over here doing its work. Let's see here. Let's try. If that's the problem, if that was actually what was happening, I'm going to be very sad. I'm not entirely sure why that would have been. Oh, I accidentally updated that buffer. I was wondering that last stream, but was surprised by it working. In theory, and I'm going off on a limb here. I thought the theory was that even if I was connected, I would just be connecting as a what do you call it? I would more or less be connecting to the kind of the front door of Twitch at this point. But let's see here. Let's see. Because at this point, and last time we were getting in as Medge Lab, so I'm not entirely sure. I joined your Discord, and I too love cats. I will send the fake virus pic and pick up my cat. Yay! Very much appreciated, Benecat. Welcome. Oh, that is majestic. Yep. Oh my goodness. That is fantastic. Kind of similar to how Factual Life has like 1K viewers, but like 10 people. Maybe I'm not entirely sure. Let's see here. So something is happening somewhere along this line. Okay, so let me put the secrets window up for just a second. I'm gonna do a bit of debugging. Change to boop, and we're going to add the token. I'm going to do a quick bit of debugging to see if there is potentially something going wrong with the password that's being passed. So let's see. Oh, I think I see the problem. Seems like the password is coming in as empty. Well, that's a wee bit of a problem. Oh my goodness. So that's sad. Banana Cat, thank you very much for the follow. Thank you so much. Welcome to the lab. We will get you your lab coat at some point. Little back ordered on lab coats at the moment. Everybody, log into the lab. Get into the terminal. Oh, all right. So, well, you know what? I can show this. I can show this real quick. Let's see here. So here, I actually I did a printout for the pass. So the actual command is being sent okay, but it's not. There's not a valid token in this payload. So correct, Jeremy. So it's expecting the password to have been set properly, but for all intents and purposes, we just kind of walked in the door and they said password, and I said My name is Medj. So, whoops. I am a banana cat and I can't fit in a lab coat unless you do a lot of cutting and sizing. We do custom sized lab coats for anybody and everybody, all shapes and sizes, no matter the species. We accept everybody here because we love everybody. So we will make a lab coat for a banana cat. It's kind of a life goal if you really think about it. And plus, like, the internet demands it. Let's be real. Okay, so now we know the issue, allegedly. So I'm going to put the secrets window back up. Sorry for the constant secrets window today. The benefits of working with secrets. So let's do a Vim. See what's in this Twitch.token. It is indeed. Okay. So maybe, possibly, if I change that from just a token file into Twitch token.sh. So to kind of narrate the super secret. How do you call a fish without eyes? A fish. A fish, which is a fantastic shell, I have been told. FSH is supposed to be a fantastic shell, so just say. What is it? So I use ZSH as my shell. I don't know what it is. I've just fallen in love with Oh My ZSH, just as a terminal and in the styles and all that fun. But I was very briefly introduced to a terminal emulator called Kitty. Now you can imagine why this person introduced me to a terminal called Kitty. And I so wanted Kitty to work. I wanted it to be a fantastic thing. I wanted it to replace ZSH. But I have so many automations set up in ZSH that I just couldn't port them over to Kitty. But link it now. I will absolutely link that here in just a second. Let's see here. So let's do a chmod plus X on the Twitch token.sh, and then let's run Twitch token.sh. Go run main.go. That is very interesting. It is going kabonk. All right. Let's see here. Let me see if I can Kitty terminal. Which of course I love their let's see here. Let me see if I can pull this up. Boop boop. And I think I can drop this into chat. Kaboop. There it is. The fast, featureful, GPU-based terminal emulator. Which is quite a sales pitch if you really dig into that. They're using your GPU to accelerate your terminal. Huh. Let's see here. I need... what do I need? I need Twitch token.sh. I need to yoink that right on out. I need to bonk that right on out. And let's see. Just saying, Kitty, you're going to see a lot of 2012 coders or sad memes. Oh, but the good old 2012 memes. Let's see here. So let me pop that into there and then do a go run main.go. Let's see if that does it. There it is. All right, we fixed it. We fixed it. Looking at a locked screen because super secrets are happening. So now that I've actually got it working, Let's bring you back to the go run main.go, which of course I just posted into stream. Troll. That's all right. It'll be dead here in just a second. So whoopsie. So the issue did appear to be the issue with the password being empty. And so in order to make that just a little bit nicer for us, I just did an explicit export. Sorry. Oh, no worries, mate. No worries. Again, that the surface area of attack for that access token is so small. I'm not particularly worried about it. Now, if I get banned because somebody yoinked it and tried to do stuff with it, I mean, the lab will prevail. We will prevail. We will find a way. Okay, so let's see here. So we need to revert a bunch of code, which we can't because we are already at the oldest change. Whoopsie. Let's get that out. Let's uncomment that, which is going to need some formatting. That brings us back into the read state. And then let's get us back into the join. Let's get a quick fix on that. Perfect. And then the feature that nobody believed works, the infinite sleep for 1 second. Make a bot that makes alts. The lab just spreads infinitely, and all of a sudden Twitch is just one giant Medj lab. I like where your head's at, Banana Cat. All right. So, let's see. I spilled some coffee on myself. My goodness. I am excited. I'm excited to see it work again. Please work again. Go run main.go. Please, please. Hey, we're back, folks. Look at that. We're back in the chat. Can I get a couple messages in chat real quick just to make sure that we are indeed reading the actual chat log? Hey, there we go. Nice. Oh, I like it. All right. So we are back to working state. Hey. So now we actually get to talk about the bits that let's talk about the let's see. Let's talk about the command testing, because that would be particularly interesting. Why is my computer acting strange? Are you hacking me? I can neither confirm nor deny that you may or may not be participating in a lab experiment where we might have installed something that potentially is trying to experience. No, we haven't done anything. And for the sake of anybody that may be watching that may be from the FBI, federal agency of any kind, or any other law enforcement agency, there is no hacking happening in the lab. The lab is an upstanding citizen and a collection of upstanding citizens. And come on, are you really gonna put any type of blame on these lab coats? Really? Come on. Alrighty. That was a tangent and a half. I love it. Okay, so something that came up as right underneath where we ended for last time with the with Pass and Nick and getting into the main section is that about once every 5 minutes, the server will send you a ping. To ensure that your connection to the server is not prematurely terminated, you must reply with Pong. That's why my system was asking me for my admin credentials, and I kept accepting it. All your credentials belong to us now. You are officially an honorary member of the lab. We do have GLaDOS at the reception desk. She's not happy with it, but she will be happy to take you to your assigned seat. I mean, the lab coats do be looking like the Half-Life 1 coats. Gordon wants his coat back. No, Gordon will not have his coat back. And if you would like to make an inquiry, please place. There is a process, Banana Cat. By the way, if there is a complaint that must be submitted to the lab, you must submit it on one of these lovely panda stickies. And any complaints that are not recorded on Panda Stickies, unfortunately, are yeeted right out the window. So we do have a little bit of a format just for process and procedure's sake. So now this code is working. It's more or less correct. But there was the idea of what if we could send commands like manually? What if instead of having to come into the code and do what we're doing right now, which is effectively sprintf to build the command that we want to send, and then we have this block of code, error equals con.write message with the text message that we're trying to send. If the error does not equal nil, log.fatalf, or in some cases it's not a fatal error, and then we print line the command that we are sending. But what if I just wanted to do some one-off testing while the prompt was active? How would I be able to do that? Just for people who have a problem, tell them to put it down on a normal paper and just not read it because it's not a pen and notepad. Now, I didn't say that there wasn't a process for automated ignorers. I just said that we had a process that was the accepted process. Aha! We are lacking critical information. Let's see here. I'm also noticing that my webcam was slightly tilted that way. That way. Which way? That way. Had to fix that. So, reading from standard input. There are a couple of ways to do this. Golang read stdin. Reading in console input, which is more or less what we are trying to do. There is a built-in inside of the Go language. Here it is. It's called os.standardin, and that is more or less a pipe into the console. So whenever I have this terminal up and I'm typing in to these lines and throwing in commands and getting things done and all that, that is effectively interacting with standard input. And so Go gives us the option to read from standard in, and in this case, we're actually using a buffered.io.new reader. So new reader, or the concept of an IO reader, is a very prevalent theme in Go. A reader is effectively something that reads from some source. And in this case, we have a reader from standard input. So what I'm thinking, let me just pull this over here for just a moment for reference. So what I'm thinking is something to the effect, and actually let me pull chat back up over on the trusty MacBook here, just so that I can have it up and available. What I'm thinking here is, what if we could add another? What if we could add another Go routine that reads from standard input, and then its only purpose is to take what is given to standard input and sending it over that connection? Let's see what that would look like. You should have a bottom that has the Half-Life 1 scientist screaming. Oh, if only I was that creative. You're giving me things to do over the weekend, and I like it. It's those types of things that just make me so happy. Let's see here. So what I would like to do is I would like to create a new reader. So reader equals buffio.new reader os.standardin. And we probably don't need to create that. Should have a button. My apologies. Sorry, Banana Cat. I read that as I should have pants, like a stylized set of pants that that just has scientists screaming on them, and I was pleased for some reason. Let's see here. So this should be CMD equals, and then it would be reader dot read string, and then read string expects a what's it called, a separator or a delimiter. So if I come back into here, cannot initialize one variable with two. That's because it returns a string and an error. So CMD error equals stuff. There we go. If error does not equal to nil. Now in this case, I'm thinking that this is not a fatal exception. So we'll just do a log.printf. And in this case, it's error read standard in. And here we'll put the error message. Okay. Otherwise, we are going to copy out this piece. Yoink. A boink. Ooh, that's some formatting, all right. Error equals con.write message. This needs to be CMD. If error does not equal to nil, send, and then here we actually need to interpolate this with %s, failed, CMD, and error. And then we want to change this to plus CMD. All right. Pausing for just a moment because I did kind of go on autopilot there for a minute. Any questions? Penzi26, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the lab. Thank you very much for stopping by. How long did you need to learn this all? What to write and how to write? Oh, no worries, no worries. I completely understand. So let's see here. I've been working with Go now for, what's it been now? It's been a couple of years now, I would say, but I don't get to use Go in my day job, unfortunately. Right now, my day job is mostly working in Java, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Every once in a while, I mess with a bunch of DevOpsy type stuff, but more or less, Go is not always been in the mix. It took me a couple of months at least of just constantly coding in Go before I actually got comfortable with what to write, when to write, and etc. But full disclaimer, I've also been programming for a very long time, so there's some patterns that are here that I recognize, and I just happen to, whenever I recognize something like, oh, how do I read from standard input in Go? That's when I'll pull up Google, and then that's why I know to look that up. Hopefully that answered the question. Have you had Windows XP? Yes, I did. I actually had Windows 95 quite a long time ago. But Windows XP had a very special place in my heart because Windows XP was where I was messing around with PHP, MySQL, the WAMP stack. What is that? So that's Windows, Apache, MySQL, PHP. That was a long time ago. Thank you for the answer. You're absolutely welcome. Questions are always welcome here. Oh, thank you very much for the follow, mate. I very much appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. We will get you your lab coat here soon. Boomer confirmed. You caught me, Tempest. I'm sorry. I am a boomer. I think I'm a boomer. Well, actually, I think technically I'm classified as a millennial. Yeah, I think I'm classified as a millennial. That kind of gives you an idea of where my age range is. Tempest, thank you very much for the follow, mate. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody, for the support. Thank you so much. Boomer. I think you meant boomer there. Have you seen my hair? Do you see what programming has done to me? I'm even getting grays in my facial hair. You know you're starting to age when the gray hair migrates from here down here. Alrighty. So let's actually minimize that. We'll bring that back up if we need it. Let's see here. Let's just give this another read. So starting up another Go routine. Reading from standard in. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Although I think I am going to move this down below here. I love my job in programming. It's not stressful at all. Gray-haired person. To be fair, I started graying somewhere around 14 or 15. I started getting gray really early, but I can't deny that the gray definitely accelerated when I actually started my career as a developer. This is a long shot, but I kind of want to know. Me too. Welcome, mate. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Out of curiosity, this is a long shot, but did anybody happen to play an online MMO called Graal Online? GRAALONLINE? That's a deep niche that I've yet to actually meet anybody outside of Graal that played Graal. But Graal was super interesting. It was kind of like a Zelda clone. But sad I got to go, but see you next time. Thank you so much, Benzie. Thank you so much for coming by. Hope you have a good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is for you. And thank you so much for stopping by. Have a good one. Let's see here. Go run main.go. Okay, we are connected. Are you ready for this? Let's see if this works. So priv message. Let's see here. And I think it's :test. Nope, it's not that. Can I get a message in chat from somebody, please? So notice here, though, we are actually getting input from the console, and it's being sent. We're just not doing it properly. Aha. Cockies, welcome. Thank you very much. Welcome to the lab. Thank you so much for stopping by. As you can see, we are messing around with a Twitch bot, attempting to build a Twitch chat bot in Go. Let's see here. And also we should absolutely be using ye olde Twitch guide here, as that is the whole point of having documentation. Private message channel. Okay, so it's actually on channel. Are you on a Mac? Yes, I am, Banana Cat. I have been on a Mac for a very long time. Kind of a bit of a Linux or Unix nerd, I should say. So priv message medlabs : test. Hey. Welcome. You are absolutely correct. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry, Cockies. I actually was not processing what you had said. I had gone tunnel vision into welcoming you to the lab. That is fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a command stream. Now, what this effectively means is that we have the ability. Hello at Medlabs. Oh, that is so cool. We have connected to the chat. We have identified ourselves as Medlabs. Since we don't have a bot account set up, we are currently authenticating as me, basically. But the bot is more or less emulating me, which means that the bot can act as me, which I think also means that the bot has everything that I have. Marvel! Welcome, mate. How you doing, man? Welcome back to the lab. What this also means is that we have the ability to send commands on a whim, which allows us a much faster means of testing. The bot will take over your account, probably. If there's anything that I've learned over the multitude of sci-fi movies that I've watched in my life, eventually, whether by my hand or by the bot just getting tired of my shit, the bot always takes over. One of those things is going to happen. Let's see here. Resistance is futile. Yeah, damn right. Okay. So, hey, we actually just finished. We just finished a stream goal. Ta-da! 1 down, 3 to go. All right. So, shall we poll for chat? Shall we clean the code up and make it a little bit more modular? Or should we attempt to make the bot respond to a chat command? What's everybody feeling at this point? As I rehydrate on some coffee. Oh, hey. There's that ping that we were talking about. So in theory, I'm supposed to send back a pong, TMI twitch.tv. And supposedly I should be okay. If I get yeeted out of the chat, then that means that I didn't do that properly. We might actually have to implement that before we implement the command. Got some things going on over here. Oh, we got some people joining the Discord. Thank you so much. Welcome. Just as a heads up for everybody, we do have a Discord, which of course I do not have the link handy. I believe the link should be in the stream's description. And I think Banana Cat, I believe you use that link to do what to get into the Discord. Make the bot send a lock PNG from Vista and make it say "Get locked, pay me." Only $3. That could probably get us a good distance. Might be able to pay for hosting fees depending on how many people we manage to get with it. Yeah, we got some people joining. Welcome everybody. I think we are gonna have to. We're gonna have to actually go with the ping pong first, because if we pull up ye olde documentation, the Discord link. Where are you? This piece. Once every 5 minutes, if we do not respond to the ping with a pong, then we will get yeeted right out of chat. So I think we'll have to implement that next. Take a brief moment, get a good stretch in. Get a good stretch in, get some hydration going. Make sure you stay hydrated, everybody. If there is one thing that we would like to ensure in the lab, it's that everybody is staying healthy and that everybody is staying active. Because if you don't take care of yourself, then we're going to be very sad when we have to take that lab coat away from you. But don't worry, you will be donated to some of the other experiments that may or may not be happening at Aperture Labs down the street. That you did read that one part of the phone book of a contract that you signed when you came in, right? Legal stuff. All right, so we got a ping pong. So I think there's a couple of ways that we could possibly do the ping pong side of things. One way And of course, if I was looking, Cockies, I'm actually going to use your how you sent that message. We are going to put this right. I'm going to put this right below here. And just to call it out for everybody, this this code absolutely needs to be cleaned up. My clean code alarm bells are going off right now because having everything kind of down in one file like this, it works for a little while, but eventually you start to put too much into this this one area, this one code file, and it makes sense to break things down. So we will absolutely get to that. Let's see here. If we don't take care of ourselves, then who will take care of the robots? Make a robot that makes us healthy. I believe that there is the possibility of a robot that just injects you with the the hydration that you need. Although then you have to answer the question, is that truly freedom? Because what if you want the freedom to be dehydrated? Hey, sorry, can't think of one. How you doing, mate? Welcome back to the lab. Hola, ¿cómo estás? All right. Let's see here. So, we need a thing. We need a thing. We need a reader. And specifically, we need a reader that is going to be reading these messages. And we could potentially do that here. Apologies for the tapping if that's coming through the microphone. So I had a thought that I could potentially create another Go routine, yeet that down here, and have that Go routine only do one thing, which is to effectively respond to the ping pong. However, I think it might make sense for the time being to just add ping pong detection here. Ping pong must be honored, or we get yeeted, which is absolutely proper English. Download a program that makes typing sounds but really loud. I have actually downloaded such a program. It's called Medgebot. Ideally, in my opinion, ping pong would be similar to how you handle incoming messages. Split the packet up by space and a if or switch to see if it is a ping or a priv message. Very good idea, Cockies. So let's see here. So what Cockies is talking about is if we've received the message at this point, and message here is a byte. So let's see here. I think what we want to do is message string. We're going to be a little right here, nerds. Hey man, nerddom is making a comeback. Slowly but surely. But does that mean we have to invoke in social interaction? Oh no. So one thing that we could do, as Cockies is mentioning, is we could do effectively a strings.split. And if we take our message string here, and if we split it on space, then what we would get back is a slice of strings. And the slice of strings, if we had, in this case, ping, was it tmi.twitch.tv? Strings.split would return to us a string of we'd end up with ping and then tmi.twitch.tv. So then what we could do is we could look at the first part of the message. We could look at the first index of this slice. There's the word. And if it's a ping, then we can basically operate on that immediately. If it's anything else, then we more or less just leave it to the console at this point. And I actually kind of like that idea. Cool kids are going to make fun of my nerdiness. Hey, that's okay. You know what? Being a nerd is cool. I'm as the nerd, am saying that being a nerd is cool. Just saying. The cool kids want to be nerdy now. It's how they are cool. Exactly. See, it all comes full circle. Never make fun of somebody for being who they are. Just saying. Like, everybody deserves to be happy. Let's see here. So I like that idea. Cockies, I like that idea. Let's go with that. So we're going to call this tokens. In some languages, that's called tokenization. I used to swear at them in C#. I want to know what kind of code were you yeeting at them? Were you constructing an object, populating that object, and then throwing that out at them in that direction? Are we talking like a little bit of link? Let's see here. Oh god, my C# is awful at this point. As you can tell, I live in a self-proclaimed Java capital of the world, so we use a lot of Java here. Dispose. I like it. I like it. Let's see here. So let's do a switch on tokens 0. Actually, you know what? I'm now realizing that I was bashing them. Oh, I love them. I love them. I love the nerdy puns. I don't care if they're puns. I don't care if they fall into the category of dad jokes. When it comes to nerd jokes, All right, I'm gonna be real, chat. I forgot how to do a switch statement in Go, so we're gonna look that up real quick. Switch, runtime, case Darwin, case Linux, default, etc. Okay. This is absolutely not Java. We do not have brackets. We do not have we do not have parenthesis around our switch. So in this case, if it is a ping, then we want to let's see here. We want to, where's the con dot write message, which at this point, as many times as I have typed this code, I think it's time to abstract it. Byte of I'm going to be a bit crude here for just a second. I think we could actually do Pong plus, yeah, there you go, Cockies. I like it. I like where your head's at. Tokens 1. So we got a con.write message, blah, 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 blah. We still need to check for the error. Yeah, you know, at this point, I think it makes sense to abstract this. Let's see here. For the sake of simplicity, we could start by just making a basic function. And if I come up to here, yep, that is indeed. So what we could do is we can make a basic function. I just found out that people who block you, if you make a reaction and they click your reaction, it will get rid of your reaction. Oh, Discord, why? So I just wanted to double check that that you have not accidentally been blocked in my Discord, because you are most welcome. Just saying. So let's see here. I would like to create a write. And here we're going to do a WebSocket.connection and a message, which is a string. And this is going to return an error. For now, that's what the next bot is for. Maybe. Let's see here. So if we come back down to here, we change this to message. So what I've done is I've grabbed this snippet of code that we've been repeating all over the place, and I've just brought it down into a function. Now, admittedly, it is just wrapping this piece and this piece. And since we are not going to be sure, this might change things just a little bit. Let's see if this would work. So we would have message here, and we'd have the error there. Otherwise, we would change this. And I actually don't like the inconsistency of print line versus printf. So we're going to say boop, boop, aha, and message. Let's see here. Did you know if you have Nitro Discord, Discord treats Nitro as a no ban pass? Pay your way past your ban. It's fine. It's basically, at that point, it's basically bribing, but you're not bribing the person who is banning you. That's weird. It's like a get out of jail free pass. Actually, you know what? Instead of logging here, I think we just return the error here. And if there was no error, then we return nil. Let's put a little bit of space in between there. It's a very cheap bribe, all things considered, Banana Cat. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken this snippet of code that we've been repeating everywhere, and I've popped it down into this function. So the idea is that we've effectively encapsulated the idea of writing to a WebSocket connection. This is probably not going to be the final state of it, but just to kind of get the code out and into a reusable piece of code, this write function will effectively replace the usage down here. And so now we can change this to be write CMD. Cannot use variable. We need to send connection and CMD. Voila. How does the %s work exactly? It's some kind of reference, but what does it get to define? % equals string. Yes. Thank you, Cockies. Joel, more or less, the printf function is it's short for print formatted, and the format is what's defined in this first string. And there are actually a number of placeholders like %s, %s, %d, %v, etc., and they all have a different expectation of what kind of variable is meant to be filled in. And then from that point forward, this placeholder lines up to the variable that you pass as the next argument. And this is stacking. So if I had %s, 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 then it means that this should have 3 different variables that come after this string. And conveniently, Go actually warns us whenever there are missing arguments. So in this case, in order to make it happy, I would have to do comma, message, comma, message. And now it's happy. Does that make sense? to there. Close that back down. Voila. And we're good. Let's see here. Makes sense. Perfect. All right. So now what we can do is we can more or less come back and we can change all of the references that we have to the write, con.write message. We can change that to reference this write function that we've written. However, we could potentially take this one step further. And there is an element of encapsulation that we could do here that I think would make the code even cleaner. And that's using a struct. So before I get into that, sip of coffee. All right. Oh, and I found some coffee grinds too. Hold on. Let me wash that down with some water. There's always something. Excuse me. So more or less what we could do is we could come in and we could change all of this to be references to the write function. And in this case, it would be join CMD, etc., etc., etc. We don't have to have that anymore. And then if error is not equal to nil, log.fatalf, fatal, send join failed. And more or less what this, the way that this is set up is that the write function handles writing to that connection, which also means that we have the opportunity to set up some retry logic in the future if we wanted to. So we could also do the same thing here. So we want to change this to write con nixcmd. If error is not equal to nil, log.fatalf. There's our read message. Change this to error equals write con pong plus major nitpick, really doesn't matter, but you could have less lines in some of those ifs with the combined def if error equals write con. I completely forgot about that format. Thank you, Cockies. I completely forgot about that. So let's see here. Let me get this written out real quick. So what Cockies is referring to is that there is a way to condense this format of error equals write, and then if error does not equal to nil, log.fatalf. We can actually combine those things into a single line. So we can say if error equals write, error does not equal to nil. Those two things are equivalent, and it's a bit more compact. And it's you more or less, you're already reading it left to right, I think is the idea, Cockies, if you can correct me on this. You're already writing left to right. And so as you're reading through this, it's just kind of this could potentially fail. And if it did fail, do this. Sudo rm-rf root is super. If super user deletes the Linux root, it gets rid of all files. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not run that command. As a disclaimer, if you do run that command and you are on a Nix-based system and you have the ability to do so, well, you're probably actually not on the stream anymore. So I might have been too late. We're too late, chat. They're gone. Let's see here. Please do not do that. Please do not do that. So I like that. Let's combine that. Let's combine these two. Error does not equal to nil, log.fatalf. If you don't have multiple returns, it's usually the cleanest way. I agree that I am digging this, and thank you for reminding me because I completely forgot about that. If error is equal to error does not equal to nil, return the error. Otherwise, print the message and return nil. It is a coding swear, and we don't want to hurt Linux's feelings, basically. Right. So let's double check our code here. If error equals right, error does not equal to nil. In this case, we would definitely be in more of a retry scenario. But I think for the time being, we'll say fatal. We'll say pain or pong. What do we want? How do we format this? Send pong failed %s and error. So to kind of bring everything together in the 3 minutes that we have left on stream, oh boy. We have inside of our current read message, we're still doing the read from connection part, but now we're adding an additional piece of logic here that actually splits that message so that we can look at the contents of that message. And we want to see if we are receiving the ping message. If we are receiving the ping message, then according to Twitch, we have to respond with a pong with the exact same payload. That's what, come back in here. That's what this piece of the documentation was telling us. So to ensure the connection is not prematurely yeeted, we must respond with a pong. And that's what we're doing here with the right. If error equals right, error is not equal to nil. At that point, we basically want to call it a fatal error because we're about to get yeeted. Actually, you know what? I think I might have changed my mind here. We're going to get yeeted anyway, so we might as well just pop it as an error. Hi, Sorcery. Welcome back. Back to what you said. A struct, that's a great idea that you can get rid of that con argument in right and all the other helpers to come. Exactly. So let's actually go ahead. Let's make a step here. Let's make a point in time. We're gonna commit this change, and we're gonna say add ping pong logic. So what I've done there is, again, for anybody that is familiar, I've just created a git commit. For anybody that's not familiar, I've basically created a point in time in the code where we have a piece that's... Oh, Cockies, thank you very much for the follow, mate. I appreciate that. Welcome to the lab. We will get you your lab coat here soon. We've got a lot of followers today. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I know, Dal, the rainbow sheep. It's so good. I love that. Really, Frank, how you doing, mate? Welcome back to the lab. So to kind of try to quickly expand on this idea of a struct, many languages have the concept of some kind of a structure, but depending on the language, it's described in different ways. And there's also technically there are different implementations. So in languages like Go, C, etc., you have these kind of lightweight things called structures. And structs are groupings of data, groupings of related data. In object-oriented languages like Java, C, C++, and etc., you have classes and objects. kind of a similar idea. I always viewed structs as the lighter weight version of objects. And in C, the struct was a lot lighter weight because it was legitimately just a grouping of data. In Go, they've kind of taken that same approach, but they allow you to add methods onto structs. So what should we call this? Should we call this the bot? Should we call this IRC? I'll leave this up to chat. Shall we call this structure a bot, or shall we call the structure IRC? Because I am 50-50 on either. We have like 16 people and Twitch is saying 13. Oh my goodness, are there really that many people? Oh my goodness. Isn't a struct with methods just literally a class? Kind of. Dal, I like to think of them as equivalent. But yeah, basically, I think that's a fair way to look at them. IRC, bot makes sense if it's going to have bot logic. IRC makes sense if it'll only handle the IRC communication. Type message struct just to be different. Name it Hunter 2. For the time being, I think IRC probably makes sense. Since it is mostly going to be the IRC logic. I think I agree with that viewpoint. So, bot IRC. Always the mediator, always the middleman. And you know what? Sorry, I can't think of one. I appreciate you. But does a struct with methods have the features of a class like an OOP inheritance? The short answer is no, as far as I'm aware, Drunk Blood, which, by the way, welcome to the lab. Thank you so much for stopping by. Go's kind of world of structs is thankfully much simpler. We do not get ourselves into the inheritance ladder, as I like to call it. Some people call it inheritance hell, but you get composition. Exactly, Cockies. You get composition over inheritance, which, if I remember correctly, composition over inheritance was actually very heavily recommended, even in the Java world. I think it was Effective Java even that mentioned, which people always cite as like the book to read for Java. Let's see here. So let's try to get this popped in. So we've got at a bare minimum, we want this struct to effectively manage this WebSocket connection. We want to hide this connection, and as Cockies had mentioned earlier, by bringing the connection into this struct, we get to take that requirement of constantly passing that con argument down here where we have right, and the first argument is con. We get to take that away. So let's come back up here. Let's see here. Do we need anything else right now? I don't think so. I think I like. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. So let's say let's make a new function. Let's call it new IRC, and this is going to return a new pointer to a structure of IRC, and we're going to return at IRC. Now, obviously, we have a problem because we need to initialize our connection to something. But in this case, I am not going to initialize the connection here. This is a kind of a weird design decision, and we'll kind of see if we want to stick with this or not. What I tend to try and do is punt the actual connecting from what is more or less a constructor in this case. And I like to have an explicit connect, which in this case we would need a scheme and a server. And what we can do is we can effectively take this logic and we can yeet that up into the connections piece. So does that say that con directly references the pointer to WebSocket? You talking about this piece right here? Con is a pointer to a WebSocket connection, correct? Let's see here. So we would want this to be scheme. We would want this to be server. For the time being, we'll leave path as a / I don't actually think that path is required, but we'll leave it as is. I have learned more in a day than online school. Oh, that's fantastic. And also slightly sad. I feel partially bad, but also happy that that you're actually getting something out of this banana cat. Let's see here. So con underscore error equals WebSocket default dialer dot dial. I'm conflicted with that comment. Me too. Me too. Let's see here. And actually, this sorry, I missed something. So I mentioned before that that a struct can have methods. Just to muddy the waters a little bit for anybody that's not familiar with this concept, what we have right here is called a function. It is an independent procedure that can that executes the lines inside of its method, inside of its function body. It is an independent thing. It exists on its own. It's not attached to any structure. It's just a function. It's a first-class citizen. It's a thing that exists. However, in our case, we actually want this method, this to be a method, and a method. The difference between a function and a method is that a method is a function that exists inside of the struct or exists on as hanging off of the struct, however you want to. I'm actually realizing that I'm terrible at verbalizing that part of it. So what we do to make a method in Go is we add this little receiver syntax in front of the name. So just to kind of show that again, let's yeet this right on out. This is a function. This is a method. And we can tell the difference purely by the fact that this part of the function signature exists. So if you see a function that has this kind of format of receiver, which in this case, it's the name of the struct that we want to attach this method to, and then the name, then you know that this is a method, and it is a method that is available on instances of this struct. Now, what that looks like real quick, just to showcase, is that we would create a new IRC instance. And in this case, we're going to use the new IRC constructor that we have. And then we want to do irc.connect. And in here, we need to pass our scheme. Oops, we come back here. There we go. WSS, and then our server, which is, I yeeted it out and I forgot to copy. There you are. What do we have? Why does school use a program that no one has heard about and no Discord? Because reasons. Let's see here. So this is like writing that function inside the corresponding class, if I remember correctly, in Java, more or less. Correct. In Java, you would see something like public. I'm gonna commit heresy and type Java inside of a inside of a Go file. So something like public void connect This would be a method. And to nitpick, Java has methods. It doesn't have functions technically, because until something changes, you can't really have a function just kind of hanging out without any reference to an object anywhere. Lambdas are pretty darn close, but they're really just syntactic sugar for objects. So Let's see here. Drunk Blood. Can one add multiple receivers? That's a good question. I have never asked that question before. Let's find out. Multiple receivers? Multiple receivers on method in this case. I want to say the answer is no. A method may have a method set associated. I don't even think this is looking at the right thing. That's a very good question, Drunk Blood. I've never actually tried that. Is really just hiding the verbosity and reality under the hood. It's basically func connect IRC scheme server string. Exactly. Very good call, Cockies. You know what? Kind of tempted to try it. Can you do that? No. So the short answer is apparently no. Method has multiple receivers. Huh. I have never thought to try that. That is very interesting. And I'm now actually, now that I think about it, I'm struggling to think of a reason for why you would want to do that. So let's see here. So we've got a connect, and then we would also need a method. We would want to bring our write method. And I am going to reformat this code just so it's a little bit easier to read. It reads more like prose than anything else. But for right now, we'll put it up here. And then we don't have to pass the connection. And so now, that would be weird. IRC test.connect. Heard that. Absolutely heard that. So now, because we've made this write method, or we've made this write function into a method on top of IRC, and because IRC contains contains the connection that we want to use, what we can do is here we can say irc.con.write message. And now we don't have to pass con, the connection, into the function. Now, everywhere that we have IRC is effectively managing that connection for us, which means that later down the road, if we wanted to add, for example, retry logic, or if we wanted to add some kind of additional logic into the write, we wouldn't have to duplicate that everywhere. We would only have to add that logic inside of write. And additionally, if we wanted to change away from the WebSocket connection, let's say, for example, Twitch opened up a TCP connection instead, we could change the definition of write. We could change the connection type inside of IRC, and we wouldn't have to change that in multiple places in our code. Let's catch up on chat here. No joke, Zoom was made in 2011 and out of a nonstop. Gotta run, buddy. Catch you next time. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a good one. Being online 2011 and still never heard of Zoom. Wow. I mean, it's not surprising, all things considered, because we've had WebEx, we've had Skype, we've had other far more advertised applications, but yeah, that's let's see here. Zoom was business oriented, so hence the clunkiness. Go format is the best. I always miss it in other languages. Me too, Cockies. Like, I did a lot of Scala in a particular point in my career. I kind of tried to jump from Java to Scala, and having Scala format, Scala FMT, very similar to Go FMT, was almost a requirement. Like I threw up way too much of a fuss if we didn't have something like Scala format, or even in Java. There's a plugin called Spotless, and I think it has Maven and Gradle plugins as well. But the Gradle Spotless plugin, I have that run on commit on compile, and just use a style. Doesn't matter what it is, just use a style and let it auto format for me. Long gone are the days where I want to bother with formatting manually. I was told it's Stockholm syndrome because I like Go FMT. Is it though? Meh. Also got to run. Also go run -race to test for race conditions. Yes. Like the Go tooling has so much built into it. I love it. I love how much the Go team built into the tooling. I know some people are not happy with the opinionated way that Go does things, but at the same time, we spend less time arguing about it, and it's fantastic. However, there is, just to kind of bring us back here real quick, there is another potential error case here. Because we've split the initialization of an IRC and the connection logic, which we've actually not completed this, we need to say irc.con equals con. We actually need to assign the connection to it. And we also want to be returning. We want to be returning our error here. We have a print line, we have our connect, we do like that. And in this case, we have no error, so we would return nil. And so because we could potentially have the issue of somebody initializes new IRC, but forgets to call connect, we would want to catch that before we try to write to con.write message. And this is mostly for it's mostly a kind of a gut check. We're kind of being a little defensive. So if irc.con equals nil, then in this case, we want to return format.errorf. FMT has a function called errorf, which allows us to return a custom error. It is still the standard error type, but it's a way for us to construct an error and return it as part of our error handling logic. So format.errorf, irc.con is nil. Did you forget to call irc.connect? And so this would be a very clear message in our log. If we forgot to call irc.connect, that's a very quick and easy fix. We see exactly what the problem is. Otherwise, we attempt to write the message to that connection. If the error is not equal to nil, return the error. Otherwise, we've succeeded in sending the message, so we print out that message and we return nil. That now means that we do need to update our code down here. So we've got IRC equals new IRC, and now we've got error equals irc.connect. If error does not equal to, or we could do the inline form. If error equals irc.connect, error does not equal to nil, log.fatal fatal f fatal connect and %s error. Probably would have been a lot easier if we didn't delete the original log. But hey, my school, when they were teaching me coding, they told me to go code.org to go to code.org. Oh, I laugh, but that makes me hurt inside. It really makes me hurt inside. Let's see here. And we also have a bit of an issue. Before, we were deferring con.close because it is a good idea to clean up after ourselves. However, we don't have direct access to that connection. A convention that I kind of skipped over. Go has, so similar to in Java, how you have public versus private fields in a class. Go has what's called exported versus unexported fields. It's kind of the same idea, but there is no modifier. There's no keyword for public versus private. It's a naming convention. So if you want your function, your field, your method, etc., to be accessible, to be callable from outside of the current code, you capitalize the name. So in this case, if we wanted to make the connection variable accessible, we would change that to a capital C. But in this case, we don't really want users to have direct access to the connection, because if they have direct access to the connection, then our abstraction just kind of falls apart. It doesn't really do what we wanted it to do, which is manage that connection kind of behind the scenes. Let's see here. Oh, looks like my chat window over here has frozen, but thankfully my chat window over here has not. Let's see here. In this case, I think a close method on IRC would be ideal because you might have other shutdown code. Oh, you're already on that track. I have to be a bit more patient. No worries, Cockies. That is exactly right. So because we are wanting to keep that connection managed, and to Cocky's point about potentially having other shutdown logic that we may want to write, we want to add a method onto IRC called close. And in this particular case, all we do is an irc.con.close. And you know what? I'm going to also do a log.println IRC. I'm going to call this info connection closed. Just for fun, just for logs. So now we have a close function that we can still use to defer. So we can ensure that we still do that cleanup step. But now it's through the IRC struct and not directly on the connection. I am playing CSS. I'm watching the stream and still learning more than online school. Again, very much appreciated. And so glad that we could be helpful here. Any chance of adding in the close function to say how long the connection was open? Possibly an extension for another time, as we are now 25 minutes over when the stream was supposed to close. But I mean, I'm kind of having fun. I still want to keep going. I might end the stream here in just a minute, but I'm having a little bit of fun doing this, so I'm gonna keep going. All right, so now we've got a bit of code to change. So instead of all of these con.write message pieces, now we can say if error equals, and change this to irc.write, and then we don't have to have that piece. We just have to have this piece. And then we can say if error equals irc.write, error does not equal to nil. Log.fatalf, fatal, send pass failed. Now we do have a little bit of a problem with that method, because write is actually going to print out our OAuth token, so we might run into some issues there. Wouldn't it be a good idea to put the defer cleanup part into the connection method to make sure it is always cleaning up after itself? If not, why? The connect method returns after it's connected, so that wouldn't work. Cockies is correct. So remember, and this is an important part of defer, defer is executed when the function that it is contained in completes, or to put it another way, when the current scope closes. So in this case, we have the defer method inside of the main function. So when the main function exits or completes execution, then that irc.close function will be called. If we were to move the defer con.close up here, for example, boop, boop. As soon as the connect function completes, it'll call con.close immediately. So that means that down here, where we're doing irc.connect, we would immediately it would have immediately been closed, so we wouldn't be able to send on it. Thanks, wrong understanding on my side. No worries. Defer is one of those things that if you don't really grasp the idea of like that function scope, and the function ending is when that defer really kicks off, which is a very strange concept. Like I'm actually not aware of other languages that do exactly defer. It's a very interesting concept, and it was very foreign to me. It took me, I don't know how many times before I finally understood what defer was actually doing. If strings.hasPrefix cmd pass log it. That's a really good idea, really, Frank. I like that. So really, Frank's idea was if not strings dot has prefix, and we could say, oh, I'm hitting the backspace by accident. So if not strings dot has prefix, and then we would have cmd pass do the log. Otherwise, don't do that log. Doop. There we go. Oh, that's some terrible formatting. There we go. Which I think undeclared name CMD. That's because we called it message. I got caught just trying to copy pasta. Oh no. Thank you very much, really, Frank. That's a fantastic idea. Might potentially move this into its own method if there are other pieces. Sorry. Oh no, not at all. That was absolutely on me for not paying attention to what I was copy-pastaing. Oh my goodness, my brain just went. But no, that's a very good idea. I like it. So let's see here. So if error equals irc.write pass cmd, error does not equal to nil, log.fatalf. And in this case, we'll keep the log here so that we know that we've passed it. We just won't let the abstracted method do it. So that means that we can now do this. We can change this to irc.write. Error does not equal to nil. Send Nick failed. Oh, did I goof? undeclared name error. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that because I'm doing the inline form, error just needs to constantly be reinitialized. Aha. Fancy. Undeclared name con. That is because we no longer have access to con, so this is a to do. We need a read method as well as a write method. Let's see here. Tokens equals string dot split. If error equals irc dot write, we don't need that there anymore. Excuse me. Error does not equal to nil. And again, if error equals irc dot write, error does not equal to nil. Here we're going to add a comment here just to call out what this function is. Allow sending IRC commands from standard in. And then here we have the same logic. Error equals irc dot write. Error is not equal to nil. Log.fatalf. To do. No, but we'll get past that at some point. But not this day. One day, but not this day. All right. So we have a write function. We also need this read function. So let's yoink this code. And let's put it up here. Func. Make another method on IRC. So in effect, we've got a write method so that we can write data to the connection, but now we need a read method so that we can read from the connection. And this is going to return either a string or an error. And then we can plonk our code. We can say irc, oops, .con.read message. If error does not equal to nil, log.println return error. I'm gonna actually do that. This needs to be empty string error. Since we have to return, when we have multiple returns, since we have to return something, Go does require you, when you have multiple returns, even in the case of an error, you do still have to put something in this field. And so in the case of a string, nothing is coming back. So we just send back an empty string, and then we ensure that we pass the error as part of that return. However, in this case, we can say boop, message return message string and nil because there was no error. All right, so now we have a struct, we have a connect, we have a read, we have a write, and we have a close. I mean, how would it know which field you're returning without the other phantom field? Exactly. Host timescale 0.1. Exactly, Phil. And that's one of the things that I really like about Go is that it's very explicit. It wants you to be very explicit, and I really like that. Unless you name the returns, then you can just return. Fair point. So that form, what really Frank is talking about, that form looks like this. So in Go, you can actually assign names to your return types. So I'll get there. Cockies. So what this looks like is that you effectively assign it, and then if error is not equal to nil, you just do a return. Otherwise, you assign and then you return. Personally, I actually don't like this form. The The only time that I use named multiple returns is when I'm when it makes sense, when all I'm doing is, for example, passing variables or swapping variables or doing those types of things. Um, I don't know. Me personally, this form is a lot more confusing, and it's more of a cause for double takes. Whereas this form, the just having the type as the return, and then naming the fields whatever makes the most sense, and being explicit about my returns, I find that to be more appealing. I find it to be a little bit easier to understand and a little bit easier to grok initially. I think it's a matter of preference. I've heard more so than not, and we've personally standardized more on the explicit return than the named return. But it is absolutely a thing. I agree. Yeah. But it's good to know that form exists. It's good to know what tools are in your toolbox. So yeah. All right. So we have our read, we have our write, and we have our close. These have been converted. So now we can do, we can say message string error equals irc.read. If error does not equal to nil, log.println error. And we don't need that anymore. We don't need that anymore. Since that is now contained inside of our read function. And just for context, the reason that I have message string equals string of message is because the message field is a byte array. I am playing Counter-Strike Source and still watching the stream. Thank you very much, Banana Cat. I appreciate the idea of being able to be background noise. Does that mean that you have subscribed to Medgelab's ASMR? I still don't think I'd ever be comfortable with the idea of Medgelab's ASMR. Let's see here. So now we're returning the string or an error if the error is not equal to nil. Bloop. And then here we would want to add a continue, because we would not want to parse the message if the message string was empty. Medgelasm. I don't have money. Oh dear, y'all are ridiculous. But I appreciate you all being here. Especially 40 minutes after the stream. All right, so let's take stock of where we are. We've converted our read. We've got our ping and pong. We did convert our join. We did convert standard in. It looks like we've converted everything. I don't think you want to continue, because if there's a connection error, it will flood the console unless I missed something in read. Let's take a look. If there is a connection error, it will flood the console. That is true. So at the moment, we are not explicitly handling. Well, actually, at this point, we're actually ignoring if there is a connection lost. Read might fail if the connection is lost. That is true. So let's see here. So let's take a look at where we're at in here. So yep, if this were to fail, then we would be returning an empty string and an error. We would get down here, we would see the log, and then, unless I'm mistaken, oh no, yeah, that would just sit there and just flood the logs. So then the question becomes, do we break the for loop and effectively exit out, in which case that would effectively force us to trigger retry logic. Feels like a break might make sense here. Can we check if the connection is still open when reading? I do believe we could. Let's find out. A break should work for now until we get to the retry logic. That's a fair point. Yeah, we might have to look into that. Might have to come back to that, but for now, let's add that as a to-do. Let's come down to our read, and let's add a to-do. We would like to... Let's actually add this here, to-do. Check if connection is open. If not, reconnect. That's a very good point, Fuel. Definitely something that we should look into, because eventually we do want to make this code as resilient as possible. I usually have a read handler go routine that reads and handles reconnects. I like that idea, really, Frank. We are probably going to be adding a chunk of feature functionality in here, and to kind of call it out, this is I do want to call attention to the kind of make it work, make it right, make it pretty in that order approach again, because again, as you can all very clearly see, I don't have all the answers up front, and it's super cool to be able to interact with you guys. This is effectively like pair programming in the real world. I don't have all the answers for accounting for things like really Frank's awesome idea about a go routine to handle reconnects, Fiol's idea about checking the connection when we're reading and then potentially popping a reconnect. Like, all of you are bringing up some awesome ideas, and this is very much an iterative process to get this type of code, this type of application built. So again, just wanted to call attention to the fact that code is not built in the first pass. It takes multiple passes to get it to a really good point. Medjlab's philosophy: make it work, make it right, make it pretty. Hopefully in that order. and I think what sorry, I can't think of one for the times that for as long as you've known me. How many times have I repeated that mantra? Too many times, possibly. Needed to respond. I completely forgot to get the kitten fed. 3,000 times. That sounds about right. All right, let's see here. So let's come back down here. So that is now a break. That will break the for loop. That should end the go routine. All right. Shall we double check to make sure everything is working? Oh boy. Let's see where we're at. Oh, pass failed. TLS use of closed connection. We done goofed. Let's see here. So what did we do? Instant goof. IRC connection equal nil. Connect scheme host connecting to u.string. WebSocket default dialer. You forgot the defer? Oh. So let's watch that again, shall we? Remember the question from earlier about why we don't or why we wouldn't put the defer there? Here's a demonstration. Oh, I knew I was gonna forget something. Yep, let's yeet that defer right on out of there. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. Go run main.go. Connecting past Nick, look at that. We back. How you doing? And double check for a private message into Medge Labs. We did it, chat. Ship it. Ship it to production. Absolutely. Let's see here. So I think the only way to double check that a ping pong happens is if we sit here and we wait. Now, I am not about to ask everybody to sit here and wait. But I will take a moment to stop and say thank you everybody. Thank you so much for coming out to this stream. This is my second day streaming overall. This is indeed day 2 of all time. Should we stop typing? Nah. Where's the fun in that? Just don't spam the chat. But this is day 2 of this stream, and it is insane the amount of support that you guys have been showing me. So again, thank you so much for coming out, and thank you for the participation. This is why I enjoy software development. This is why I enjoy coding. I really, really enjoy it. Action ping. And I'm super, super thrilled that that people are getting something out of it. Like that is such a justification for everything that I do. So again, I'm going to be a bit of a broken record on this. I apologize, but thank you all so much. It really is appreciated. And again, quick plug for the Discord. So I have a Discord server. It is I'm not overly active. I'm not constantly posting in it or anything of that nature. But I do leave that Discord there as an opportunity for if anybody wants to ask questions. If anybody, excuse me, if anybody wants a post stream or anytime in between streams, if you have questions, so happy to answer those in the Discord. It might be a little slow for me to respond, but if you have questions, if you just want to chat about stuff, please, by all means, the Discord is there for everybody. There's no gate or anything of that nature. Please feel free to jump in. Not gonna lie, I only came here through a host, but it's legit the best coding stream I ever saw. Thank you so much, doll. I appreciate that. Oh, that makes me feel really good, and it's very humbling. So thank you very much. Oh man, I can't even begin to parse that. Thank you so much. That really means a lot. Double checking over here. I wonder if I actually did I actually add a Discord command? No, I didn't. Because of course I didn't. All right, so I will get that fixed up as soon as I can. Nice teaching, MedLab. Spread the word on the wonders of Go. Absolutely, really, Frank. That is the goal. Thanks for the stream. You're a really fantastic person. Thank you, Horror. I appreciate it, mate. And the spooky love. We are almost to 5 minutes. All right. Ping pong. Ta-da! Has anybody ever been so excited to see ping pong in the chat? Because, oh my god, I'm so excited for a ping pong. Got him. It was the best stream I have gotten. Oh, thank you, Banana. I appreciate that. Oh, see, it's things like this. This is why I do what I do. This is why I've been coding for 15, 16. What has it been? Oh, geez. How long has it been? 15 years? Going on 16 years? This is why I do it. For these feelings right here. This, oh. All right, chat. We are 51 minutes over when the stream was originally supposed to end, but it's worth it for the ping pong. It's absolutely worth it for the ping pong. So, I think we will call it there. Let's see here. Let's get some gets going. Let's do a get diff here, just to see what we've got. For the most part, this was rebuilding. Always worth for the ping pong. Yeah, damn right. So let's exit out of here. Let's see here. Do I have a diff? Yes, I do. And this was mostly just building the struct. So we're going to stage that. And then we're going to do a git commit. And this is going to be, let's see here, abstract IRC logic into struct. Boop. And now, as promised, my review, I appreciate you taking the time to explain things to everyone, and the clarity in your explanations is a very valuable trait. Thank you very much, Cockies. I appreciate that. I kind of have two main goals, I suppose, for this stream. Number one is really just to put out there that the process of coding is not always a first try success, which personally going through school, going through university, this has, it always seemed like I was supposed to have the answer on the first go. And even watching things on videos and so forth, it always seemed like the answer was just there. And it felt weird that I never had the answer straight off the bat. But then going through my career and the many attempts of like, no, I'm not going to have the answer straight away. That's half of the fun, is just problem solving. So I wanted to represent that. And I wanted to kind of be, I wanted this to be as genuine of a representation as to what the real world of software development actually looks like. And then the second side is I just really enjoy coding, and I enjoy pairing with you guys and interacting and having that opportunity. And if you guys get something out of it, that is just icing on the proverbial cake. So I hope that this is as valuable to you all, and I hope at a bare minimum, even if you're not quite following what's going on, or if this is your first introduction to Go, I hope that this kind of inspires you to look into Go and to kind of pick things up, or it inspires you to pick up programming in general, because it's such a satisfying career. It's such a satisfying field. Even though the cake is a lie. Feel you're not wrong, but it's okay. Go is heart. Oh, I love Go. I really do. As a former C developer, and even as Scala used to be my favorite language, and right now Go is just fighting for that favorite language spot. Like Scala versus Go is definitely a very interesting fight that's going on in my head, in the chaos that is my brain. So I did promise that I would get this up into GitHub. So let's get this into a new repository. I'm going to create this under Medj Labs, and we're going to call this the Medjbot. Let's see. Banana Cat, do you take DMs on Discord? I do. Let's see here. I think you should be able to DM me. If you can't, just post in the general chat on the Discord, and I'll figure out why that is. But absolutely, we'll take DMs. And let me double check, github.com/medglabs. Oh, I did this earlier. So we do have Streambot. Aha! I already set this up. Fantastic. So I will post this into the chat. This is a GitHub link to the code as it exists right now. And actually, let me push this code. Is it G push? I think that's it. Let's double check, make sure that all went up. Yes, it did. Haha. So I have taken the code up to this point and pushed it up to this GitHub repository. You are more than welcome to pull this code down, follow along in the stream if you want, or if you want to poke around at it, play with it, break it, ask questions, whatever. This is publicly available to you all. Have fun with it. And let's see here. Let's double check through here. Yep, this is all the IRC code. So that is available for you. Have fun with it. 100, I got to 100. Hey, good job. I'm really fraying. I like it. Was afraid they would go with my funk did. I like that they decided on Scala style generic syntax. I need to look at the generic proposal. I've actually not seen it recently. I want to take a look at it. I've not been keeping up on Go because I've had to be Git repo needs more readme. Do I not have a readme? Do I not have a readme? Oh, nope. I as a developer do not allow myself to not have a readme. Stream bot. Twitch chatbot built on stream. HTTPS twitch.tv/medglabs. What a good call. Thank you very much for keeping me up to date on that. Git add readme, git commit -m readme, git push. They keep updating it. I've seen a number of posts about the generic syntax. I did also see in the very beginnings there seems to have been a very heated debate about the generic syntax. It was definitely seemed to be a polarizing topic. You know, you're the first person to allow people to speak and now just be so cold about. You know, you're the first person to allow people to speak and now just be so cold about things. Good streamer I've seen so far. And not be so cold about it. I appreciate it, Banana Cat. I mean, that's the fun of it. We're all here to have fun, code up some stuff, and just chat banter. That's the whole point of the lab. Every debate on Go language changes seems to be heated. Absolutely. I think every debate on every language change ever seems to be heated. But I mean, that's the joy of a debate. Everybody has opinions, and that's what it should be. Everybody has an opinion, and they should feel empowered to share that opinion. And even if somebody doesn't agree with that opinion, I think that you should always be respectful of the idea that somebody doesn't have the same opinion as you. And it should be an exchange. Like, you have your opinion, I have my opinion. I try to give my opinion to you. You give your opinion to me. And who knows? I mean, worst case scenario, if it's can be considered a worst case scenario, we both leave with the same opinion that we had before. Whoop-de-doo. Better case, hey, I've been introduced to another side of the argument that I may not have considered. Like, debates should be productive like that. I like it. I like having debates like that. As long as they're civil. That's the hard part. Always got to be civil, and always got to make sure that that you are civil and you are respectful of the other person. And then the debates get really good. All right. Well, I think we're going to call it there. The code is pushed up to GitHub. It is ready for consumption. Wow. And that means that we actually completed 3 stream goals today. We did get to clean up the code. We got everything pushed into the IRC struct. Next stream, we'll probably move that IRC code out into a separate file just to kind of clean up main.go. We added command testing via standard input. So now we have a much faster way to, if we are testing a command or if we're not sure the format of a command, we can just throw that into standard in, see if the server responds a lot faster than add it to the code, run the code, check. And then we also implemented the ping pong logic. And as a separate concurrent Go routine that is checking for the ping message coming in from the server and then automatically responding with that pong message. So I'd say that's a pretty damn productive stream. So again, thank you so much, everybody, for coming out, for partaking in this. It is such a blast to do this. Thank you for the participation. Thank you for the follows. Thank you so much for the support. We are scheduled to be back on Tuesday, same time, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, and I hope to see you all there. In the meantime, we'll see you on Discord, or if not, have a good weekend, everybody, and take care. Oh, now I gotta find the button. Gotta find the button. There is no button. Bye, everybody.